We're here on the red carpet at Ladies headquarters. Everyone's filing into the Holby Theater. It's like Dolby Theater, but Holt.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't do this anymore.
But your name, Ben, it could be the Bulby Theater.
I don't know if that's better.
That's horrible.
I think that's kind of pretty rancid sounding. Yeah, it sounds
Your
like
name starts with a B.
it does start with a B. You're not wrong. Wow, my train of thoughts just left the station, much like the Oscars, because it's not in a train station this year.
Oh, you're right. I'm excited. I think we're going to have less scandals tonight than the Oscars have.
Yeah, I think so.
We also didn't invite Rachel Zegler.
We didn't invite Rachel
no.
Zegler.
Oh, no.
We didn't invite any young interesting people. It's just us and a bunch of producers that no one knows the name of.
Tony Hawk did show up, but we sent him home.
Yeah, Shaun White was here too, and was like, "Hey, you crashed in the Olympics, bud. Get out of here."
Also, fans, we are not allowing you to pick a favorite because this is not what this is about.
There was voting, and you could have voted, but it's too late now. But you don't win a sweepstake to Greg's house, unlike the Oscars where you could have. So yeah, we're out here on the red carpet. People are just getting here. Of course, we've already given out 8 awards. They're not going to be televised. And it was an empty room, no clapping at all for those winners. Very sad for them. So
we
either
still played them off with music very quickly.
yeah. So as you guys know, I don't really know how to start the award show yet. It's either going to be, I don't know. I'm going to invite a bunch of random surfers and skateboarders, and they're gonna perform a bunch of songs that aren't even nominated. Or it'll be something like, "Welcome to Late to the Movies. My name's Ben Holt, and every week, usually, me and my friends will talk about a movie one of us hadn't seen before and really should have by now." However, in this special First Annual Ladies Award episode, that's Ladies with a T, we are going to be giving out awards, talking about 2021 in film and what we liked. We're going to be talking some about the Oscars and some about our own personal picks. And, here in late March, giving 2021 a send-off at long last.
The viewers are in for a treat because you are in a savage mood.
Just
I am
about
like,
the Oscars.
I am ready to fucking go. Let's do
Just
this.
I'm really excited for this almost more than the Oscars, because I just feel like the conversation around the Oscars has curdled into something weirdly toxic, and I don't want to be backed into a corner where I have to be mean about Coda, a perfectly lovely movie. It's very sweet. It didn't do anything to anyone, and now I have to put on a ski mask and break Troy Kotzer's windows while he's in the ceremony, because that's what the internet's telling me I have to do. I don't know, man.
They're really that mad about Coda?
Everyone's mad about Coda, and then everyone's mad about people who are mad about Coda, and everyone's just screaming at each other.
I'm already starting to get mad
Why
at people
you
that are mad
spend
about
less
Coda.
time on the internet.
It's fine.
I know, it's awful.
It's a horrible, horrible place.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to detox before this, before the actual Oscars happen. I'm gonna cut out all the parts where I sound like I'm complaining to this entire episode. So fair warning on that.
It's gonna be so short.
It's gonna be really short. So this is the First Annual Ladies Award, honoring the best and brightest in film entertainment. Basically, what we did, I'll tell you a little bit about the methodology. Is we picked not all the categories. I think there's 23 Oscar categories. We're not doing all of them. I think we're doing 10. We are going to talk about our personal top picks in those categories. Each of us, I should say. I'm here, Ben. Also here, Greg.
Hey.
Ray.
Hi.
And Robbie.
Hello.
A usual crew here on the pod. And we're going to talk about each of our own picks. Then I'm going to reveal the results of the internet voting. There was a hashtag fan favorite vote online, and when we'll get the results of those and see what people picked. The important thing to note, each of us, we can color outside the lines. We can pick from anything. It doesn't just have to be Oscar nominees, but for simplicity's sake, the online voting just was Oscar nominees, so keep that in mind. And then we will come to a consensus on each category. What is the Ladies Award winner? We can work in the ladies voting from internet, and if we want to weigh that with our own choices, we can. That's basically how the show is going to go. Do you guys have any questions before we start?
No, I'm ready to go.
No?
If my picks don't win, if I'm not right, I'm gonna think the voting's rigged, though.
I think that's fair.
Cool.
I think it'd be fun to start the way in the most Oscars do, which is with supporting
Let's go supporting actress.
Okay.
I feel like I know a lot of them because all
Yeah.
the actresses just end up in the supporting role for the best pictures, and that's usually what I watch.
Yeah, absolutely. That's this year, especially if you look at just the Oscars, supporting actors and actresses are in, I think all of them are in movies that are nominated for Best Picture besides Jessie Buckley, who's in Lost Daughter. Whereas Best Actor, whereas Best Actress, none of them are in movies nominated for Best Picture.
None.
Weird.
Yeah.
With this one, I think we're going to do our top 3 each, and Greg's going to kick us off.
Okay. Top 3. Actress in a supporting role. Do we want them numbered? Starting first down?
Do your 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1? Okay. I'm really sorry. I don't know like any of these actresses' names.
That's fine.
The wife from King Richard.
Ingenue Ellis.
Yep. Bernardo's girlfriend from West Side Story.
Ariana DeBose.
Yep. And then Judi Dench, Belfast.
Okay. So
Know
that's
her.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2,
You
1.
got Dench first.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What'd you like so much about Judi Dench?
I don't know. She's just great.
She does good TikToks with the jokes. Have you seen those?
She's a fun lady. She seems like she'd be cool to have a cup of tea with.
Yeah. Well, her like grandson does this like bit where he asks her like knock jokes, like really bad like dad jokes, and she like knows all of them.
All right.
It's probably set up, but it's good.
I don't know. I just I felt like every scene with her in that movie I liked a lot. I felt like her interactions with the boy buddy, right?
Yep.
In Belfast, they were all really good. All the scenes where she's with the grandfather too, and like I don't know, it just all felt so real. I think a lot of that kind of just goes with that movie, that like, you know, her talking to the grandfather and how she's bringing him to the hospital and he doesn't want to, and I feel like it's just real relatable if anyone's had really old grandparents where they're like stubborn and
Yeah.
then they're stubborn with each other, and I don't know, she had a very believable performance.
She's not in it a ton, but you know, it's a real supporting role. So often it's leads that just aren't in lead actor that get nominated. So it's nice when there's an actual supporting role in there like Judi Dench. And I think she just kills the ending of the movie. And that's why she gets this nomination, I think, from the Academy and perhaps also from you. Ray, we can go clockwise.
So my number 1 was
Go 3, 2, 1. Build anticipation. Jeez.
Oh, bottom. Okay. Oh wait, so Judi Dench was your number 1?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's getting spicy.
I guess so. Actually, my 3 was Judi Dench.
Okay.
And then it was Anita from West Side Story,
Mm-hmm. Ariana DeBose.
and then Kirsten Dunst.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't love Kirsten Dunst's performance, honestly.
I will say I didn't really like I like Judi Dench, and I think that's why she like made my top 3. But I feel like she was like a real supporting, but like compared to everybody else on here, she did like not a lot. And I feel like she was outshined by the grandfather in that movie.
I agree that she was outshined by the grandfather too, but I don't think he should have gotten a supporting actress nomination.
I know that, but like you're comparing like it's supporting, right? You're like that's the whole thing is you're supporting, and I feel like she was outshined by the other supporting character. So I don't know if
he also got a nomination for
he did
actor in a supporting role, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not actress though.
No, not actress. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't love Kirsten Dunst's performance. I liked it, but it wasn't like my favorite of the year.
Interesting.
I'm with Ray on the Judi Dench. I don't even think she was very low on my top 10 just because like she was barely in the movie. I was kind of surprised, like, I don't know, maybe if they had like a good person in the movie award, but to say she was like the supporting actress, it just feels like,
I mean, she was a little more than a cameo almost, you know, like she didn't say much.
Okay. All right. Robbie, what do you got?
So for 3, I had Jessie Buckley from Lost Daughter because I absolutely love the acting in that movie. And that was, you know, pretty much, I'm not going to go too far into it. But my 2 was Kristen Dunst from Power of the Dog, because even though I didn't like the character, I feel like that's a sign of very good acting because like, whatever. And then Ariana DeBose from West Side Story, I thought she was absolutely fantastic. And I thought she brought a lot of emotion into the movie.
Yeah. I think, she She did.
Yeah, I gotta know now, Ben.
So my top, with apologies to people who just missed the cut, Kirsten Dunst and Jessie Buckley. My number 3 is Carrie-Anne Moss from Matrix Resurrections.
Okay.
My number 2 is Toko Miura from Drive My Car.
Oh.
And my number 1 is Ariana DeBose from West Side Story.
Oh,
So
I didn't even think about considering.
Okay, I changed mine. I'm taking Judi Dench out.
maybe I should have gone first this one.
Yeah.
So real quick, because I don't know if we're going to get another chance to talk about Matrix Resurrections. I think Carrie-Anne Moss is amazing in that movie. She has to play not really she doesn't become really like fully Trinity until kind of towards the end of the movie, really the last sequence. So that's why she's more of a supporting in this one. But I don't know what her and Keanu do in that movie is some really special stuff. And if you didn't like the movie, I'm just sorry you can't have fun. I don't know what to tell you. Toka Miura as the driver in Drive My Car is really wonderful. I was kind of on the edge of, she's probably more like a lead that's kind of supporting, but
she drives my car.
She does drive his car.
In Drive My Car. So
yeah, and she's the last person we're with in the movie. No,
I'm gonna have to.
We don't have to spoil it. I think a lot of people haven't seen that yet, and I want them to. So
I'm gonna have to bump off Buckley and put Kristen Dunst as number 3, and then Carrie-Anne Moss can have my number 2.
Nice, thank you. I appreciate that.
Votes are coming in pretty last minute here.
votes are still pouring in.
I forgot
We're
that
still
was
working the
this year
phones.
movie, or else I would have had
Oh
that.
man, I kind of forgot that we could like pick people like not just from other movies, but like from like
Just anything,
Oscar
yeah.
movies that didn't get nominated. Because
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I'm thinking of the mom from Coda. Like I liked the mom from Coda. I feel like
Yeah.
true.
Well, I think we're gonna have more chances to talk about Coda, but
Yeah, we'll get there.
Marley Matlin.
But
was
so
great.
overall, though, a lot of love for Ariana DeBose.
It seems like that's
Yeah.
probably our winner. It's number 1 for me and you, number 2 for you. And unless Ray's really upset about it, that's
no,
probably our winner.
she'll stay number 2 for me. But yeah, she can be the winner.
But let's see how
I mean,
it
she did
worked
great.
out.
Yeah.
I really liked her performance.
Let's see how the voting worked out. So I'm going to give you 2 numbers. In the voting, you could have picked a didn't watch. So do we think more the highest average point total is the winner, or do we think it's the highest point total? You know what I mean? I shouldn't have said average total. The highest average points or the highest total. I think that I was kind of leaning highest total, but I'll tell you both numbers anyway.
I think it's gotta be highest total.
Yeah, because I think that reflects what people were prioritizing to seek
Your
out.
problem with highest average is if there's a movie where only one person saw it and they give it a 10, that automatically wins.
Yeah, I would say with the caveat that it has to have multiple votes or something. But I think
We can hear the 2 numbers, and if it's close on one, maybe we like.
yeah, well, because it would be really swingy in some of them. But we'll just go with, for this, it's all 5 people, and like I said, on the online voting, it's all people who were nominated in the actual Oscars. It worked out like this: number 5, Ingenue Ellis in King Richard. Number 4, Jessie Buckley in Lost Daughter. Number 3, Judi Dench in Belfast. Number 2, Kirsten Dunst in Power of the Dog. And number 1, Ariana DeBose in West Side Story. If you went by average, Ingenue Ellis would be in 5th, Judi Dench, then Kirsten Dunst, then Ariana DeBose, and then Jessie Buckley in 1st. With an average of the people who saw her of a 4.25 out of a possible 5, which is really high.
Yeah.
So I think Ariana DeBose is probably our winner.
Yeah.
One last piece of love for Ariana DeBose.
Yeah.
That when she's singing that in America, I don't know. If that's America. Her like contradicting Bernardo and like singing and dancing.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think that might have been my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah, that's a real showcase. She has an almost impossible task of going into probably the most famous musical ever and perhaps the most well-known role in it, even though it's not a lead. It's the role that made Chita Rivera a star on stage, Rita Moreno a star on film, and she's stepping into that with Rita Moreno on set too, and doing that in front of her. A role that Rita Moreno won Best Supporting Actress for in 1961. For the 1961 version, I guess it was 1962 ceremony, whatever. At this point in Oscar month, you guys know what I mean when I say that. Yeah, I think it's just so hard. She nails the dramatic scenes. The dancing is incredible. I think she's just great. You want to do best supporting actor?
Yeah, let's
do it.
Let's go.
I can go first.
Okay.
Best supporting actor. Number 3 is Pop from Belfast.
Kieran Hines.
And then Cody Smith McPhee.
Number 2. Okay.
And then number 3 is the dad from Coda.
Okay.
Number 1. Sorry.
Okay.
The reverse
3,
is
2,
getting
3.
me. The reverse is getting me.
You know how it's just a countdown. You know how
I can't
countdowns?
do it.
It's a very common thing.
It's numbers, man.
It's
Can't do
numbers.
numbers.
So you have Troy Kotsur number 1.
Yes.
He seems to be the odds-on favorite in the Oscar race right now too. What do you think about him?
He was so good.
Okay.
Just every scene with him in it were like the best scenes from that movie. So, yeah, if that's what a supporting actor is supposed to do, then yes.
He's got a lot of range in that movie too. He goes from like
He's so relatable.
horrible disappointment to like anger to sadness to, he has a lot of emotional scenes in that. And then on top of it, he delivers like really good comedy.
Yeah.
Like all the scenes of him and his wife and him like talking about how hot his wife is and stuff. And like, it's so funny.
Without saying a word, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
It's just, really good performance. Like, I felt like he was like a super relatable character. Like, he's just like a very well-rounded character. And yeah, maybe some of that's the writing, but it's definitely comes down to the acting too.
Cool.
For 3, I had Kieran Hines. For 2, I had Troy Kotsur. I probably said that wrong, but whatever.
Yeah,
and then for 1, I had Cody Smith McPhee.
Okay.
Yeah, I just I loved his performance in The Power of the Dog. I'm gonna be a little upset if he doesn't win, but he's got time. He's still young, so
Yeah, that might be what the Oscar voters are thinking.
yeah.
It's like, well, he's so young. He'll
I
have another.
I won't be super upset if it goes to Troy Kotsur because I thought that was a really fantastic performance too. So
Yeah, I think that's fair. Those are the two leaders in the clubhouse, as it were, right now. So my honorable mentions in this is Troy Kotsur, Ben Affleck in Last Duel, who is as good as he's ever been. He's awesome in that movie. My number 3 is Bradley Cooper in Licorice Pizza. My number 2 is Masaki Okada in Drive My Car. And my number 1 is Cody Smith McPhee in Power of the Dog.
Wow.
So I think we're going to talk, what Cody Smith McPhee does in that movie is pretty amazing and really hard to do, and just has to stay on such a perfect tightrope the whole time. And
just like in the movie as his character.
yeah, he's really amazing. It's the kind of performance that's a little more subtle and nuanced and doesn't always get highlighted. So the brief time where it seemed like he was a lock to win, what a fun time that was. Nothing against Troy Kotsur. I think he's great in that movie in Coda as well. And Masaki Okada, he's the younger guy in Drive My Car.
Oh, he was really good.
He's amazing. He has maybe my favorite scene of the year in any movie when him and Kafuku are talking in the back seat of the Saab, and his monologue that he gives there is pretty amazing. And we're going to talk about that movie more later tonight.
I'm surprised.
Man, I can't believe that none of those people got
I was
any
gonna
kind
say-
of nominations.
I know we're going to get into that at some point, that none of them got nominations. He extra should have, though, because he's acting at being an actor, and Hollywood loves that.
Yeah.
You'd think.
It's
a movie about putting on a show, and usually that gets
that gets him
whatever.
going usually.
It got 4 awards in its defense, I guess. And Greg, what do you got?
So for me, 3, Cody Smith McPhee, Kieran Hines, and then Troy Kotsur.
Okay.
I think we kind of covered all of.
Did we pretty much all have the same, except for Ben? I think he put in the Bradley Cooper one, but
Bradley Cooper
Bradley
and
Cooper's
he put
amazing
in
in Licorice Pizza.
Drive My Car. too.
So I didn't see Being the Ricardos, but how was J.K. Simmons? Because I love J.K. Simmons.
Bad. I was gonna say he's always great.
I
He's
love
not in
J.K.
this.
Simmons. Oh.
It's not his fault. It's a bad movie by a dumb man. Sorry. That was the snappy way to put it. The movie didn't work for me. I don't think J.K. Simmons has really great material to capitalize on. The kind of career he's had, it's going to be kind of ridiculous to be like, this is one of the things he got nominated for.
So
Yeah.
For anyone at home who's bet a lot of money on the ladies, hope you didn't bet big on being the Ricardos because it doesn't look like it's coming home a big winner tonight.
It has 3 acting nominations. It's ridiculous.
Drive My Car has none.
Yeah, that's
bullshit.
it's pretty insane. So here's how the ladies fans out there voted. In last place, J.K. Simmons. And so this is for total points. Last place, J.K. Simmons. 4th, Jesse Plemons in Power of the Dog. 3rd is Kieran Hines in Belfast. Separated by 1 point at the top, Cody Smith-McPhee in 2nd and Troy Kotzer in 1st. For average voting, J.K. Simmons' average is 1.5, which isn't great. Jesse Plemons is 4th for average. I think this is actually all the same. Kieran Hines is 3rd for average. Cody Smith-McPhee at a 4.28 out of a possible 5, and Troy Kotzer at a 4.42 out of a possible 5. So very close.
What is our consensus for Cody Smith?
It seems like it's, for me, Cody Smith-McPhee.
Troy Kotzer. Kotzer? Yeah.
Yeah, Troy Kotzer.
Oh, no. I was going to say Smith-McPhee, but that puts a split 50-50.
Is there like some kind of tiebreaker thing that we can do?
Yeah, I mean, do
we arm wrestle?
I was going to say the
physical contest.
I was going to say the voting had Kotzer. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I
that's the
feel like-
tiebreaker.
I feel like the voting's probably the tiebreaker.
That's fair.
But Cody Smith-McPhee just takes it. Nope. Troy Kotzer just takes it.
Oh, that's our La La Land moment.
Yeah, that's our La La Land
Oh,
moment.
God. We did have a scandal.
We had another. Oh no. Okay. So that's we started with supporting, much like that. How do you guys think the show's going so far? This is usually there's like a big commercial break. We do a musical number.
Yeah. Robbie, I think, was about to do the musical number, if I remember correctly. Is this where that is?
La 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 la. DJ Khaled.
Make sure you sing something that's not nominated for an Oscar.
You're singing the original song from Dune.
I'm a worm.
Hans Zimmer is here with all his invented instruments. It honestly just looks like a plunger and a trash can lid, and he's just banging them together. He keeps talking about desert power. I don't know. So yeah, we're rolling right along. Wake the kids up! It's best animated feature time.
Woo!
In this one, it's animated movies. You guys get that right?
They're not short.
Not
these
short.
ones.
Not these ones.
No.
But yeah, okay. So this is best animated feature. Greg wants to go first.
I'll start it. We actually
Greg
watch
is a
lot of them.
childed person, so he's seen all these movies.
That is the
I haven't. So
First way
He's
for
seen
that
all
thing you
these
said.
movies.
I own a child, and children I don't think watch Flea, to be honest. So we didn't watch that one. But
Fair enough.
top 3, I'm gonna go Luca, Mitchell's versus the Machines, and Encanto, number 1. And I think it's close with Mitchell versus the Machine and Encanto, but I think Encanto kind of did something special, something a little unique. So that's where I got to be.
Okay.
I will say I had that same exact ranking. Luca 3, Mitchell's versus the Machines 2, and Encanto 1.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool.
And I got the numbers right that time.
You did. Good job.
I didn't even see the teaser clips. I have no idea what happened in these
That's
movies.
fine.
You gotta
I guess
watch
I'll just say
Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Encanto number 1 because it's everywhere, and I love Stephanie Beatrice. So
Okay.
there you go. You guys can have it.
You can have it. Just take it. Encanto is not in my top 3. I have
Whoa.
Luca at 3, Flea at 2, and Mitchell's versus the Machines at number 1. I went really back and forth on Flea and Mitchell's versus the Machines. They're just trying to do such different things, and both extremely successful, both head and shoulders above the competition, I think, this year. Super resonating with me. If you guys don't know about Flea, well, it's less than an hour and a half long, and it's on Hulu, so you can get at it pretty easily. It's about a guy who I guess he's about in his 30s now, who fled Afghanistan as a refugee when he was younger with his family. And the short version of it is basically his family split up. He ends up in Denmark by himself and has to lie in order to get asylum that his entire family's dead. And he's been living with this lie for 20 years, and now he's finally telling it to a friend. The reason it's in categories that it is, meaning it's in animated, it's in documentary, and it's in international. It's a Danish film, but its subtitles are fine. And it's a true story. This actually happened to this guy, and the movie is the audio of his interviews with this friend who's doing this project about him, and it's animated to protect everyone's identity, pretty much. The animation used in the movie is incredible, and a lot of really haunting shit in there that's going to stick with me for sure. On the other hand, Mitchell's vs. Machines is the funniest movie of the year, and
It's so good.
if you are familiar with the people involved's work, produced by Lord and Miller, so has a decent amount of similar feelings to Into the Spider-Verse from a comedy standpoint and kind of an action standpoint. And then one of the directors is Michael Rianda, who also worked on Gravity Falls. So if you like any of that kind of sense of humor, storytelling, and world building, it's in there too. If you really like Mitchell's vs. Machines, check out Gravity Falls. That show kicked ass.
I didn't know Lord made movies.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Lord and Miller. Right?
animated feature.
I'm sorry. I mentioned before I didn't want to monologue, and I apologize.
Animated feature. Every year, I feel like 90% of the Oscars I've watched, I've gone in and I would bet $1 million on what was going to win animated, and I was right every single time. This time, I feel like I have no idea because I picked Encanto, but I do really feel strongly about Mitchell's vs. the Machines. I think that's really close, and I've heard a lot of things about this Flea movie, and I might want to try to watch it before the Oscars. And it sounds like something that's really unique, something
really
that's
cool.
nothing like this has ever been an animated feature before, as far as I can.
I think
of.
it's the first thing that's been nominated in the 3 specific categories it's in: international, animated, and documentary.
Yeah,
I think I learned
I would
what
be
else would be,
shocked.
you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't think any like I doubt anything even has a nomination for documentary and animated together right now.
Yeah, it's tough. There is a weird thing with the international feature category at the Academy Awards, which is that the nominee is the country. It's the country that wins the award, technically. So this is Denmark going for back-to-back wins because it won with another round last year.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know how many countries have had back-to-back wins, but you know, it'd be cool for Denmark, I guess.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens with this category this year because, like I said, normally, and it's not like normally I know because I'm like so into animated movies. It's like I know because everybody else knows. It's like most likely going to be this Pixar movie or this Disney movie or this movie that everyone heard of this year.
Yeah.
And that's not the case this year.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everybody else except for me knows, but
Yeah, so I think we pretty much know where consensus is going on this one, but in any case, Raya and the Last Dragon is in last for total points, then Flea, then Encanto in third, Luca in second, and Mitchell's vs. the Machines in first.
okay.
That's actually not where I thought it was going. For average is a little closer to what I thought it would be. Raya and the Last Dragon is in last. Flea is in fourth because someone gave it the lowest ranking possible, and I don't know why.
Was it me?
Someone gave it the lowest ranking possible, and apparently it's the only animated film they watched,
Oh, not me.
which is just rude.
I don't think it was me unless it was
Really rude. Then Luca in third, Encanto in second, and a whole half a point above it at 4.5 out of 5 possible points is Mitchell's versus the Machines. So the internet likes the Mitchells and those machines a lot. The room seems to be leaning more Encanto. What are we thinking?
I'm thinking it's gonna be Encanto. I really love Mitchell's versus the Machines, but
Yeah, I don't know. I could honestly be swayed either way. I think Encanto, but Mitchell versus the Machines was so fucking good.
I only know about
You're-
Encanto.
we're all looking
Encanto
at Robbie, like,
wins.
I've never even seen clips of Mitchell's versus the Machine, but I've heard Stephanie Beatrice sing some of the songs from Encanto, and they were very good.
And you do
Stephanie
like her.
Beatrice is not in Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Nope.
That's
This is
going to be a no
true.
for me then.
Abby
Olivia
Jacobson
Colman
is.
is.
Yeah,
Olivia
Olivia Colman
Colman
is. They have a
is.
good lineup. Oh, animated movies.
Danny
almost always do.
McBride,
Danny
Maya
McBride.
Rudolph.
Yeah,
Oh, I know who that is.
and you don't know all of them.
I'm writing in Encanto. Encanto, as I said, was fourth for me, but it feels like the room is on Encanto.
Sorry. I don't really have much of a choice.
Way to go, Robbie.
Just pause and let me watch Mitchell versus Mushes.
Yeah, okay.
I'll do it.
Come back in 2 hours. Go
If you're looking
from.
for a light movie, that's the one, Robbie.
Good one.
Okay, so the winner of the ladies for Best Animated Feature is Encanto. Up next, Best International Feature. Only 2 of these were seen by more than one person, so this one I don't know if we really have to do a whole thing about.
Probably not.
Besides you, the rest of us only seen Drive My Car
In this room, we're consistently on Drive My Car.
by necessity.
Yep, there's some other people who liked Flea also in there. I really want to watch Hand of God. I haven't yet, and that didn't get any votes anyway online. So I'll say that Drive My Car is going to take this one for the ladies. And that's just what's.
Well,
it sounds funny. Ladies with a T.
I know. I just for the ladies.
For the
out
ladies.
there.
while we're here, though, this is the first year where I've heard things about actually a little bit last year, but the first year where I've heard a lot of things about a lot of the different international feature films. And I feel like that's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like they're getting a lot more credit this year than they normally do. And that makes it stand out more how bullshit it is that none of these films apparently have a single good actor in them. Their actors are all horrible, if anyone wants to know. They're worse than any actor in any of our other movies, apparently, because they don't get any nominations.
They don't. And just, I mean, everything deserves some. So Drive My Car is in first. Flea is in second on points. Then Worst Person in the World. Then Hand of God from Italy. And Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom from Bhutan. No one has watched those yet that voted, but that's okay. I kind of want to, I do want to watch those in the next week. I just haven't gotten to them yet. Good on Bhutan getting in there. I think that's pretty cool. Obviously.
What's Hand of God about? The name really interests me.
It's Italian. Is it about soccer?
Oh, God.
Maybe.
Oh, Hand of God.
You got soccer, could be pizza and smoking. Perhaps Vespas. I don't know.
There's a triathlon.
There's a triathlon. You got to eat a bunch of pasta and then swim
And then bike.
All right.
and then bike.
And then they turn into
There's two little
horrible
boys
monster.
who are horrible sea monsters.
Okay.
And we're really far down the doing a bit about Luca hole.
Drive My Car. Only one I could vote for, but great movie. I think we'll get into that more when we get to the end of this, when we start talking about Best Picture, because I think we're going to talk about that one there.
Number one in international for me was Worst Person in the World. It's a great movie.
You made me want to watch that one.
Yeah, I think we're going to put that on the list.
Honestly,
Cool.
It's tough, though, because now they have all these great international feature films this year. They have, there's a lot of good stuff in here, and they give me 10 Best Pictures that I feel obligated to watch. And it's just hard to fit it all in. And I have a feeling some of these international features are going to be better than some of these Best Pictures. But
Yeah, probably.
Although it was a strong year this year.
it was a good year.
It was a good year.
It was. But there some of the ones that more down the bottom, they were good, enjoyable movies, but I think they would have been cut in other years.
It's really frustrating to hear that it's just it's all this stuff that people don't care about and no one watches these and they're all really pretentious or whatever, because I feel like it's such a wide variety of stuff
Especially this
that's
year.
in Best Picture. There's, a meditative Japanese film that has some of the best acting I've ever seen. There's a sports movie in there. There's mostly black and white memoir from a really famous filmmaker. There's all kinds of stuff.
Dune.
Yeah,
Dune's a blockbuster, right?
Yes,
Sci-fi blockbuster.
a blockbuster sci-fi epic, a gay cowboy movie. Those never do good at the Oscars, though.
Musical.
There's a musical in there.
You
Yeah,
got Coda, I feel like, is a movie that
did good.
How
A
can you not
family
like-
and a whole family entertainer.
yeah, you know what I mean?
If you're from around here, you can be like, oh, it's the Berkeley Performance Center. I've been there.
Yeah.
I saw Pete Townsend there once. Maybe that's just me. True.
But yeah, I don't understand how people can be like,
I don't see that. I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
these films aren't very pretentious this year at all.
No, they're not. I think it's
I get it some years.
It's
Every now and then
whatever.
I'm like, this one is a bit much. But it's never I feel like I've never seen a whole year where I'm like, these movies are just all Hollywood jacking themselves off. Sometimes there's one that sneaks in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, I mean, it can't all be Mank. So
I was waiting for it.
Mank.
I didn't know
Mank.
when it was going to come up. I feel like I have to watch it just so I can make fun of it with you guys.
No, we didn't watch it. We still make fun of it.
I watched it.
You didn't even watch it?
You didn't know that?
I think I probably just assumed you did because she did. I don't know when you guys.
He wouldn't watch it. I watched
You
it
had
on
to
my
sneak
own.
some Mank time.
I did.
Separate from Greg.
I think I had to do it in 2 sessions actually because I couldn't get through it.
Yeah, it was
That's
just.
a bad sign.
It's like looking at the sun. It's really good for you, but you can't stare at it for too long.
Oh God.
Speaking of Mank, let's do screenplays next.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
If you didn't know, Mank is about writing a screenplay.
Okay.
It has a perfect transition. 5 out of 5. Let's start with original because I think adapted has a little more heavy hitters this year.
I agree.
We're doing the top 3. I think is what we said.
Yes.
Anybody want to kick it off?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Number 3, King Richard.
Okay.
2, Belfast. And my number 1 is Licorice Pizza.
Cool. I like it. What do you like about Licorice Pizza?
I thought it was a good movie. The characters were well developed. They were interesting. And I feel like if you can tell me a story that I can like really get into that is just like this is the relationship between these two people, and like they do a lot of things, but what they're doing isn't really the relevant part, really. You know, like him selling the water beds and starting that business and him.
Yeah.
Those businesses, this story could have been interchanged with a bunch of different things. That's not the important part. But you can keep me interested and entertained. You got to have a good screenplay there in order to be able to really pull that off, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. What's up, Ray?
So I think I'm still flip-flopping between my bottom 2 here, but I think it's 3 Licorice Pizza, 2 Belfast, 1 King Richard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I only have 2, and it's
That's fine.
2 is Belfast and 1 is King Richard. But if I'm not being salty, I guess I can give Licorice Pizza a 3.
Okay. All right. Oh, let's talk a little bit about King Richard because I don't. Well, we will again later too, but specifically about the movie and I guess about the screenplay. You guys have any thoughts on?
I don't know if this is supposed to sway me, but I think what swayed me to it was to find that like they feel like it's a very accurate. Well, and you could tell it was like just a very like raw depiction of this person, and it didn't really try to cover up his flaws. And I don't know. I like when it's based on a real person, but they like told the story just kind of as it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think we kind of talked about this a little bit offline too, about how they chose really interesting parts of this story to tell. You know, like I feel like it's very easy to get distracted about the accomplishments of Venus and Serena, but they really did keep it focused on the father. So I don't know. It was interesting what they chose to show us.
Yeah. My top 3, I have Belfast on the outside looking in. I thought it was good though. Number 3, I have Malignant.
No, you have some love for Malignant.
Number 2, Licorice Pizza. And number 1, with a bullet, Worst Person in the World.
We got to see that one.
A super smartly written kind of black romantic comedy, dramedy. It's amazing.
It's a
and so is, Malignant I'm talking about.
Yes.
No, yeah, it's like a black romantic comedy, dramedy kind of thing. It's, it's about young millennial / old Gen Z people trying to figure shit out and how disconnected social media makes everything is kind of in the background. And then, it's a really amazing movie, as is Malignant, which has one of my all-time favorite horror movie twists in it. And for that, it's got to be in Best Original Screenplay.
Oh my God. I thought you were talking about Malfeasant. It was like the Disney movie.
Maleficent?
Maleficent. There we go.
Malfeasance.
Malfeasance.
That was a fun little trip we just went on.
Yeah. Angelina Jolie's in there just doing all kinds of money crimes.
I want no party on
Could be, who
Malfeasance.
knows?
Malignant. A kind of B-movie premise dressed up in James Wan's very high budgeted, sleek looking
For some reason,
horror movie kind of style.
picturing like a needle poking someone in an eye. Is there?
That's
is
the
that
poster.
Okay, yeah,
That's the poster.
Yeah.
So you've pictured correctly.
Like a bucket of laughs.
yeah. It's a fucking
Dude, it's a great fucking time.
rom-com.
Has my favorite action scene of the year outside of the Matrix.
Don't
and
spoil it. Ray loves horror movies, so she'll probably be all in on this.
I do love horror movies, actually.
yo, watch Malignant.
Okay.
It's on HBO Max.
I don't have that.
You can have my login.
Oh, wow. That's really generous.
Thank you. Here's how the ladies, viewers out there, we'll call them the ladies, listeners rather. This is how they broke it all down. Worst person in the world's in last, because I'm the only one who voted for it. Then we got Don't Look Up, ahead of Worst Person in the World. Licorice Pizza in third, King Richard in second, and Belfast in first.
Wow, that's a little unexpected.
Okay.
I know the licorice pizza doesn't surprise me. I feel like that's gotten a lot of hate from people.
And that,
viewers.
yeah, and I should just say that's also, that is also the way that it works out average wise. Worst person in the world, I'm not counting in the average because I'm the only one who voted on it.
I think I flipped my votes again.
That's okay.
Just that's probably
Stuff changes over time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I had Belfast kind of high, but you guys didn't really have Belfast up there, right?
I had it as my number 2 just now.
Yeah.
My listing.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed
up there.
Belfast, to be honest.
Yeah.
And once again, like when I'm thinking about original screenplay, I'm thinking about the story you told me, and to tell me like a successful story in like an hour and a half, that's not easy. You know what I mean? Like you get all your points across. The movie doesn't feel rushed. The pacing's great on it, and you know they get everything across, and you get an enjoyable story in an hour and a half. I feel like you did something right.
Yeah, I would lean Licorice Pizza, but I would accept Belfast if that's where we're at.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have a preference.
Robbie doesn't want licorice pizza, so I think
I do not know.
Belfast
Yeah, I
it
think,
is.
yeah, let's go Belfast.
Okay.
We'll send them the trophy.
Congratulations to Kenneth Branagh on winning his first ever lady.
That's his first one?
That's his first
Wow.
one.
He's
Good
gonna be
for
so
him.
happy.
Yep, he is. He really is. I hope he is in full Poirot costume for his acceptance speech. Next up is adapted screenplay. Who wants to kick us off? This has a lot more heavy hitters in it.
Yeah, I don't mind
tough.
going.
Okay.
3, I'm going Power of the Dog, followed by Dune, and then number 1, Drive My Car.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
And I feel like a lot of that is close.
Yeah, we haven't
Um,
talked a ton about Dune yet.
yeah, I feel like I honestly wanted to put Dune as number 1, but I just can't because Drive My Car was just awesome. But I do feel like Dune did something great because people have tried to adapt Dune already, right? And
2 times.
I was going to say, and haven't had a ton of luck. I haven't read the books, but I know people love them. So whenever you're taking something like that, that's like this loved book that has this big following already, adapting is not easy. You know, a lot of work has to go into that to present it like that, especially when you're breaking it in half on top of it. You know what I mean? Now you're not just like, how do I tell you this story? It's okay, how do I tell you the right amount of this story where we're going to like, where I can get you in a good spot where you're happy with how much you've been given and there's enough left. And I feel like they really killed it with that one. So I had to put it up there, but I just can't put it above Drive My Car because
Yeah.
there's a lot going on with that. I didn't realize at first it was adapted. I don't know what it's adapted from. I'm assuming a book.
A short story of the same name.
A short story of the same name.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Not a short movie.
I don't know how they did that, to be honest.
Hamaguchi.
He goes to his favorite mechanic, right?
He goes to his favorite mechanic. Hamaguchi blends a couple other short stories from the same short story collection.
That's even more impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm keeping number 1, Drive My Car for sure.
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible act of adaptation. Ray, what you got?
I've actually got that same rating. I've got
Okay.
3 Power of the Dog, 2 Dune, and 1 Drive My Car. And yeah, I think it was kind of the same reasoning there. I didn't even really like Dune all that much, to be honest, but I could really appreciate the adaptation because I've never read the book and I got enough information. I feel like it still was like a really good movie and it was a good watch. And I could just tell that I haven't even read the book and I could tell it probably did the book justice, you know? Like Greg said, they've tried to do this before and like I've known things about it and I've never heard good things about a Dune movie. But yeah, this one seemed to be a good adaptation.
Yeah, I agree. Robbie, what you got?
So I have 3 Power of the Dog. I have 2 Drive My Car, and then I put Dune as number 1.
Cool.
Very similar reasons. I just having read the book and like rethinking about it, especially for the adapted screenplay version award. I felt like I should put that one number 1, and then I have Drive My Car number 1 somewhere else. So I think it balances out. But
cool.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. You can be like, well, I want to put some shine this one here and that one there. So
Yeah.
it all works out. This one had some of my really hardest cuts. I really wanted to find a way to get Last Duel and The Green Knight in there, and I just couldn't, unfortunately. 2 movies that I believe are really impressive adaptations, but the adaptation isn't necessarily what I like most about them. So that's why they're not in my top 3. Number 3, I have Drive My Car. Number 2, Dune. And number 1, The Power of the Dog. I find what Campion did adapting Jane Campion. We haven't said her name yet, so she should just go last name. What Jane Campion did adapting the novel Power of the Dog into a movie that has so much focus on what is unsaid and the spaces in between and how people, exist in relation to each other in physical space. I think it's just there's probably a less pretentious way to say that, but I just think it's a pretty amazing thing. And like you guys were saying, Dune should not be possible to adapt into a feature movie. And the fact that Villeneuve got as close as he did to preserving what is interesting about Dune while still making it a movie that human beings want to sit and watch is pretty amazing.
The whole time you barely think about the pee drinking. So that
you're like, oh, there's Zendaya drinking her piss again. Here's Timmy Chalamet drinking piss.
Yeah, you're not thinking about that the whole time.
And-
So that's impressive.
like not only have there been other Dune, like bad Dune movies, but anytime anyone has tried to make a sci-fi or a fantasy book into a movie, it has been just dog shit every
It's really
single
hard.
time.
It's really hard.
Mhm.
So
It's super hard, yeah.
just the number of childhood books. I mean, even the Harry Potter movies are just like crap
Yeah,
compared to
they're
the
not good.
books.
Granted,
And they had 7 shots to get 8 shots to get that right.
And the books are perfect.
yeah, this is
No issues.
This is adapted screenplay though, so all these are adapted from something. So I do keep saying like they adapted this from a book. How did they do it? But I'm like, well, yeah,
Yeah.
they are kind of all adapted from somewhere. But I feel like adapting such a book that's like what you're really getting. A lot of your viewers are people who read that book.
Right.
Whereas with some of the other ones like
Yeah.
Power of the Dog, Drive My Car, that's probably not your main group of viewers are people who had read this. So I feel like that does add a different element.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I also feel a little bad. I'm not giving a ton of love to Power of the Dog, but I feel like every time it kind of makes either my list or close to it. And that was the second movie we saw. And when we saw it, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is Best Picture. This is going to have all these awards. And then I started watching other things like, oh man, there's good shit this year. There's really good shit this year.
Yeah.
There is really good shit this year. So here's where it stands with the voting. In the actual Oscars, the nominees are Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, The Lost Daughter, and The Power of the Dog. And here is how it worked out. We've got, for a point total, Lost Daughter is in last, then Coda in 4th, Drive My Car in 3rd, Power of the Dog in 2nd, Dune in 1st. For the average, though, Coda is in 5th, then Lost Daughter in 4th, then Power of the Dog in 3rd, Dune in 2nd, Drive My Car in 1st. So those are very different. Yeah, those are real different. I don't know.
Who we sending this thing to?
Up to us. I was hearing a lot of Drive My Car and Dune and Power of the Dog.
What was your number 1?
Power of the Dog.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think we got to give it to Dune then because wait, Power of the
There's no hard and fast
two-
rule. We can talk about it. And
What you both were
2 for Dune.
2 for Dune.
2 for Dune. Yeah.
And then
I had Drive My Car 1.
you had Drive Your. So okay, yeah, no, then Drive My Car because that won the average, and then me and Ben had different number ones, and
Okay.
then yeah,
I'm
I'd
happy
be okay
with
with
it.
either one. So yeah.
That's my pick, so send it out.
yeah.
okay.
They can use it. Maybe they can
Ryusuke
hang it from his
Hamaguchi, get
mirror.
Excited.
Yeah.
They just won 8 Japanese Academy Awards, but this is what they were really waiting for.
Yep. They're going to have to.
Wait, my bad. I think they won 7.
They probably expected to win the 8th, and now they have a little slot open in their trophy case.
That's right.
And here it is. Slot the
That's
lady right
right.
in.
Now it's like, oh wow, we're making great time. There's only 4 awards left, but there's still like 2 hours left in the show. And then the next hour they don't give out any awards.
My enthusiasm for the Oscar show is dead. Yeah.
So,
That can be in memoriam.
Oh no.
Here lies Rachel's
So,
hopes
guys,
and
Yeah,
dreams.
you're like, what? We're gonna have another montage or retrospective on the idea of movies? We're already watching the show. Why do we need another montage?
you thought we were going to finish on time, but guys, guess what? We are going to go out onto the street now, find some regular people. We're going to bring them into my basement. You know what I mean? As if they were podcast stars. And they're going to like get to see what's going on and stuff.
We're gonna
Yeah,
find some
Jimmy
Girl
Kimmel's been
Scouts.
waiting in the other room with a bunch of strangers for the last hour and a half.
Gonna get some Girl Scouts to sell some cookies.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to order a pizza, guys.
You guys are gonna hear all about it.
We're going to throw some candy and yeah, and we're going to take a selfie. And
What is Tony Hawk gonna do?
8
He's gonna
awards.
do kickflips, yeah.
The 8 awards they pulled out the time that would have been there, we're gonna actually watch someone build a half pike. Like we're gonna have construction workers come in. They're regular, they're not movie star construction workers,
Yeah.
they're regular ones.
Yeah.
It's like a big thing. They build the half pike, takes about 30-40 minutes, and then Tony Hawk goes up it once or twice, and then we continue.
So now we're going to talk about the acting categories: lead actor and actress. And I think we're starting with actor, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's start with actor. Greg, you want to take it? You look like you're
Sure.
ramped and
Yeah,
ready to get
I'm
after it.
ready. I like this, a good category.
Yeah, it is.
So actor in a leading role, I'm going number 3, Benedict Cumberbatch, followed by Will Smith. And then obviously number 1, Javier Bardem, Being the Ricardos. That movie was just phenomenal. Everything about it was perfect.
When he sang Babalu, I just wrote down in my notebook, that's it. He's won.
No, number 1, Drive My Car. Kafuku? That's his character name, right?
Hidetoshi Nishijima.
Yep, I'm out there. Yeah, number 1.
Okay.
Oh man, I thought I was gonna like pull a big surprise with that one, but yeah, no. Number 3, I have Will Smith. 2 is Drive My Car, and then 1 would be Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah. 3 is Will Smith, 2 is Hidetoshi Mishijima, and 1 is Cumberbatch.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
excited to hear Ben's now. A lot of pressure.
Yeah, no pressure for me. I'm fine. I with similar energies, similar like theater kid energies with Andrew Garfield and Cooper Hoffman in Tick Tick Boom and Licorice Pizza, respectively, but they just didn't quite make it. I had to keep them off the list, so apologies to those two gentlemen. I love Andrew Garfield, one of my favorite actors, and I'm glad he's in the Best Actor category at the Oscars. My number 3 is Dev Patel in The Green Knight. My number 2 is Hidetoshi Nishijima in Drive My Car. And my number 1 is Benedict Cumberbatch in The Power of the Dog. It
All
is
right.
Wow.
a guy who's been around a while. I've seen him on TV shows, seen him in movies, and this is, for me, the best Benedict Cumberbatch has ever been.
Mm.
I feel like it kind of uses everything that you have with him already. Any kind of relationship you have with his work before, you're like, first off, why is he in this cowboy movie? And then, of course,
Mhm.
that is the point. The character is kind of overcompensating. He's in this world that he doesn't really quite fit into. And it's we don't have to get into it too much because everyone should watch it if you haven't yet. I don't want to spoil it. So I'll just say that he is such an inspired casting choice. He's amazing. Hidetoshi Nishijima in Drive My Car is so good.
Mm.
And Dev Patel in The Green Knight gives, I think, the sort of most recent iconic millennial performance that I can think of. He's the large adult son of everyone's dreams. It's I don't know how else to say it. He's he's like in his 30s, but he still lives at home. So his mom comes up with this magic plan to have a tree monster teach him how to be a man. Like, we all go through that phase eventually.
Yeah.
So Deb Patel's amazing in that movie, and it's a real shame that not a lot of other people watched Green Knight this year.
I'm gonna.
It's amazing.
I will say on the Cumberbatch note, I randomly watched Star Trek Into Darkness last night. It's just on Hulu as it had prior Oscar nominations,
Yeah.
and he's very good in that too. And like
everything.
after seeing Power of the Dog, like he's a very masculine character with a lot of anger issues in that one as well. So I can see like how he morphed it. I don't know. It was just
I think the statute of limitations on spoilers for Star Trek Into Darkness is hopefully up.
yeah,
But everyone was kind of like, oh, come on, you're obviously playing Khan. And then the lead up to that movie, the whole thing, he's like, I'm playing a guy named John. And then the big twist in the movie is like, nope, his name's Khan. And everyone's like, yeah, no, we knew that. It was very clear.
He delivers the line, like when he first says I'm Khan, he delivers it very well.
Yeah, he's in his like mad twisty face mode.
It's great. I loved it.
Was he nominated for Imitation Game?
Yes.
Pretty sure.
I'm just gonna say yes.
Okay.
He's just good.
He's just good.
I want to go roll it.
Yeah.
He's just good. I feel like he's just been getting better and better.
Yeah.
And he's been taking more and more serious roles.
Ages like a fine wine.
I mean, I really like him. I did really like Will Smith. I think I'm a little biased because I feel like anytime there's a movie based on like an actual person and they throw the actual footage of them in the credits, and then I'm like, this is exactly what you just did. That is always like kind of sells me a bit.
Yeah.
But Drive My Car was like, I feel like a lot of the scenes that I remember from all these Best Picture movies are scenes from Drive My Car with the main actor just talking to people.
He's so good.
Which
and
is
making
like,
faces.
what is it?
And making faces.
Yeah, which
He's got
is
faces.
Not talking to people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got faces.
so that's where I had to go that way. But I did really like Benedict Cumberbatch. I did think he was a really good performance, and it was very like believable, even though I'm seeing him at first. I'm like, oh, it's Benedict Cumberbatch. You know him. Yeah, look at him. He's great. No, he's not a dick. This is Benedict Cumberbatch.
It is funny because I feel like everybody's like first reaction is like, why is Benedict Cumberbatch playing a cowboy? Like,
Sure.
I feel like I've asked people like, like who's the last person that you'd expect to play a cowboy? And the answer is Benedict Cumberbatch, but he's just so good. I don't know. It works really well. I'd really like to see Will Smith win it, though. I just like Will Smith.
That seems to be the case. That is what's going to happen.
That
So-
Will Smith is
Interesting.
going to win?
Yeah, he's won like every precursor. It seems like he's
He did a great
got a
job.
really good shot.
I like him a lot, but I'd be happiest I think if Andrew Garfield won. I didn't see Tick Tick
Garf.
Boom. I just
Oh,
like
okay.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, that'd be nice, too.
Yeah, we're pro Garf.
And I would just
Warm
really like to see
feelings towards these
I
His
can- I feel like I-
acceptance speech.
his accept and just him, like because he's I don't know.
He's kind of goofy.
He's definitely
kinda
not
goofy and
prepared to
happy
give
looking,
an acceptance speech.
Yeah.
So
Like seeing him come up and be like all happy with his Oscar.
Everyone
stuff,
says
I'd
he's
be
just a
super
kid,
excited.
but he's like 40.
Yeah, he's like 40.
Yeah.
Never been the same since him and Emma Stone broke up. We're talking about Andrew Garfield, not Will Smith. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Just want to make sure we had him switch. Here's how the voters voted. The nominees for the Academy Award for Best Actor are Javier Bardem, Benedict Cumberbatch, Andrew Garfield, Will Smith, and Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington is in fifth, though not in our hearts, but last in this voting system. Then Javier Bardem in fourth, Andrew Garfield in third, Will Smith in second, and Benedict Cumberbatch in first. That is also the average.
I think it's going to Cumberbatch.
I'll happily send the award to Cumberbatch.
It seems like it's going to Cumberbatch, unless someone wants to step in front of that and
Mm-mm.
punch, just start hitting. I don't know.
Can we misspell his name on it?
Yeah.
I literally wrote Cumberbatch. I don't think is it Cumberbatch?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You got it.
Oh.
It's just too ridiculous
Wait,
to
no,
be
it's-
right.
I
That's
thought it
the
was-
real way you spell it?
I thought it was
Wait.
Cucumber Patch.
That's it.
It's not Cabbage
Oh,
Patch?
no way. All right.
You got it. You got it in one. We're moving on now to Best Actress. This is the first annual Ladies, but we should note that, of course, in subsequent installments of the show, the previous year's winner will be presenting the award to the opposite category for the next year.
Yes.
So we got to get Cumberbatch to the show for next year to present this award. Who wants to start with Best Actress?
I'll go.
Okay.
So for 3, I had Rachel Ziegler from West Side Story.
Mhm.
For 2, Olivia Colman from Lost Daughter. And then 1, I had Toka Mira from Drive My Car.
Cool.
Yeah. I decided she's the actress, not the supporting one.
I think that's fine.
I'm in the same boat. I agree with you.
Yeah, I had her in supporting, but I think you could obviously make an argument she's a lead.
Really loved her performance, especially to be so memorable when, like, in the beginning of the movie, I think for the first hour and a half, she does not really say anything. But, like, even just her, like, acknowledgement of what's going on, like, just seeing her eyes in the rearview mirror and stuff like that it was really good.
It's great stuff. This was one of the harder categories for me. I wrote down like 7 people. But apologies to Rachel Zegler, Olivia Colman, and Lady Gaga, but they're not in my top 3. My 3 is Jodie Comer from Last Duel. My 2 is Alana Haim from Licorice Pizza. And my number 1 is Renata Reinsve from The Worst Person in the World.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, those are 3 amazing performances. 2 of which from people I hadn't seen in movies before. Alana Haim because it's her first one. Renata Reinsve because I just hadn't seen her before. She's Norwegian. Not that makes it sound like a bad thing. Norwegians are fun. So in order, Jodie Comer gives an absolutely amazing performance in Last Duel, the Ridley Scott movie from last year that didn't get enough attention. Alana Haim is amazing in Licorice Pizza, and if you think it's Best Picture nominee and you think it's in screenplay and all the other nominations it got, I don't see how you don't nominate Alana Haim for Best Actress. And Renata Reinsve just gives absolutely the best performance of the year in either category. I think she's just straight up amazing in Worst Person in the World, and you all should check that out. Greg, what you got?
Number 3, Rachel Zegler from West Side Story.
Cool.
2, the girl from Drive My Car, which I don't remember her name.
Sure.
And number 1, Alana Haim, Licorice Pizza.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. You know, like, it did get a lot of nominations, and she's just not in there.
Yep.
And then Drive My Car, I think an argument could be made either way for her actress, supporting actress. I think I put her 2. I think Alana Haim was better, and they're just, maybe if she had a little more screen time, she would have had a chance to be number 1 for me, though.
Okay. Cool. What's up?
So I wish I had more Best Actress nominees to choose from here, but I think 3, I would go with the lead from Coda.
Amelia Jones, I want to say.
Yeah. 2 would be Drive My Car, and 1 would be Alana Licorice Pizza.
Okay.
I was in the same boat, by the way, where we all watched all the Best Picture ones, and there's just not a lot of actresses to be nominated because that's how they do.
To choose from.
No.
Not a lot of ladies to give the ladies.
Yeah, I went. None of the 6 or 7 I wrote down, only Olivia Colman's actually nominated. She probably would be in my top 3, but I figured she'd be in someone else's. And
Yeah.
Olivia Colman's wonderful. I just want to say that because
She is.
She's nominated
she's
for
good.
as Pal, right?
yeah, from Mitchell's versus Machines.
Right, yes.
She plays a cell phone.
Yeah, she's like the Siri of the world.
Yeah.
Here's how the internet voting worked out. Apologies to Penelope Cruz. No one has watched Parallel Mothers yet. I blame Spain. It wasn't their entry for nomination to Best International. So it wasn't eligible for Best International because Spain put a different movie forward. It's a Pedro Almodovar film. He's a very, important filmmaker from the last couple decades and a frequent Penelope Cruz collaborator. And apparently she's great in that. So just a quick note. Haven't seen it yet. And I apologize. Here is how the voting worked out. I mentioned that because she doesn't have any votes. So she's just not on here. In fourth is Kristen Stewart and poor Kristen Stewart and Spencer. In third is Nicole Kidman in Being the Ricardos. In second, Jessica Chastain in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. And number one, both in average and in points, Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter. So I think we all had Alana Haim pretty high.
Yeah, give it to
She's not in this category, so there's no.
She's not going to get any awards.
There's
at the
no
Oscars.
other data point.
Just
here.
give her the lady.
Let's give her the lady. All right, so congrats to Benedict Cumberbatch and Alana Haim. We're moving on to Best Director.
I can start. I'm going to preface this by saying I really don't understand how not to link directing and Best Picture, to be totally honest.
Okay.
I don't understand.
I think a lot of people do. So
you have that same issue. Yeah, like you can't be a particularly good movie if you're not directed well, right? Like
Unless you just ignore him the whole time.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of it the other way.
Yeah.
Like, you can direct a movie really well and the product just wasn't good to begin with. I don't know.
I guess, but
You know
then
what
you're
I'm
probably
saying?
not on this list
Well,
because your movie's not very good.
probably it's
yeah.
fair.
So my pick, number 3, Dune, 2, Power of the Dog, and 1, Drive My Car. Obviously, all three of those movies are phenomenal. I almost put Dune higher. Same kind of thing. I feel like there's a lot of decisions you have to make that movie work. And whoever directed it made the right decisions. And particularly with Dune, too, I feel like you're making this expensive blockbuster movie. With some of these other movies, you can definitely argue that like how much money the studio is going to make is not like the number one driver there. But Dune, that probably was not the case. Money was probably like very top of the list. So then you are going to have to fight a lot harder, I feel like, as a director and be like, no, we got to do it this way. Like Dune 2, it's not like it's an action. I wouldn't call it an action movie. You know what I mean? And when you're making this big blockbuster, I feel like studios want like action and all this cool stuff happening constantly. There's a lot of just like dialogue and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like that's hard. And then obviously you've already mentioned Power of the Dog when they adapted it, you know, all the things that are left unsaid. I feel like that can't be easy to direct. And Drive My Car, usually someone can be entertained for like 3 hours with just people talking in a bunch of different languages. I don't know who's directing it, but they're doing something smart.
So 3 for me was West Side Story, Steven Spielberg.
Heard of him?
And that's why I'm kind of thinking like, because I didn't actually really enjoy West Side Story that much, but I could respect about how well directed it was.
I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah. So I can see that.
But it's not like that was a bad movie.
No, but I just don't really like West Side Story. But I was like, man, he really did this justice. So there we go.
True.
And then Power of the Dog's number 2 and Drive My Car is number 1.
Okay.
I have Kenneth Branagh as number 3. I know you don't like him, but I thought Belfast was really good, and he directed it in an hour and a half. So I don't know what
I do appreciate the efficiency.
what the hate is there, but we'll talk about that later. My number 2 is
It's not hate. We kid.
Does he like do other things that aren't great? Is that
No, it's not hate. We all like Kenny.
well, yeah. So Kenny is my number 1. My
Playing
number 3.
Gilderoy Lockhart.
Oh my god. I'm taking that back. Steven Spielberg is my number 3.
He just played him. He didn't direct that movie.
Still negative
fine.
points. No, it's fine. I'm just kidding. He can have the number 3. Number 2 is Jane Campion, and number 3 is Ryosuke
Okay.
Hamaguchi.
Hamaguchi.
Damn it. Okay, that's why.
Rhymes with a Ridley Scott film from last year.
Alien.
Okay.
But yeah, no, all the same reasons
what
everybody else
film was
loved
it
Drive Me
rhyme with?
Car.
House of
House of
Gucci.
Gucci.
Oh, okay.
How many things could that have rhymed with?
That's why I was trying to figure it out. I didn't
What
know.
the hell's going on? How many things could that? Yeah, I had to move some stuff around.
Ben looks physically pained.
Yeah, this is a good year for movies. I liked them. This year.
Give us your top 5.
Just 5. I say okay. So, apologies to Ridley Scott for. I think he directs the hell out of The Last Duel. More people should see it. Steven Spielberg for directing the hell out of West Side Story. I want to have him higher, but I just can't. Paul Thomas Anderson, I think, does a great job with Licorice Pizza. My number 3 is Denis Villeneuve for the Herculean task of directing and adapting Dune. It's really ridiculous that Denis Villeneuve did not get nominated for Best Director this year. I have Ryusuke Hamaguchi in second for all the reasons said before, and Jane Campion in first. Yeah, for the same thing I just said before. I love the way she directs. She's a good director. Yeah, that's all I have to say, I guess.
As much as we're shitting on the Oscars, I'm like pretty excited for this year because I feel like there's gonna be a lot of things. I haven't like watched a lot of the precursors or anything, so maybe that's where a lot of my excitement comes from. But there's a lot of these where like even us, we have like a usually a similar like top 3 and things like that. The orders are a little switched, and I'm like really pumped to see what like actually happens and where these go.
You mentioned that you're like really excited and you didn't haven't seen a lot of the precursors. One of the most recent big ones was the WGAs over the weekend, and the big winner for Best Original Screenplay was Don't Look Up. So get excited.
I mean, I haven't seen that yet. Maybe it's the best one.
Could be.
There's, especially in original screenplay, there's been a weird split of a few different things. Licorice Pizza, Don't Look Up, and Belfast winning all different times. So there's not really anyone who knows what's going to happen there. It's going to be real hard to bet on.
In original screenplays defense, all my favorite movies were adapted screenplays this year.
It's fair.
Not like I said, it was a good year though. So.
Yeah. So in the online voting for Best Director, here's how it all worked out. There wasn't too many people who didn't see things, so the point totals generally pretty fair, I think. But we'll do the point totals first, then the averages. And point totals in 5th is Paul Thomas Anderson, Licorice Pizza. 4th, Kenneth Branagh for Belfast. 3rd is Steven Spielberg in West Side Story. 2nd is Ryusuke Hamaguchi in Drive My Car. And 1st is Jane Campion, The Power of the Dog. I think, generally speaking, that is also how the averages worked out, except Hamaguchi is slightly ahead of Jane Campion on average. But one more person saw Power of the Dog than Drive My Car. So
in this room, can we give it to Hamaguchi?
I have Campion above him.
I had Drive My Car first.
Number 1, Drive My Car.
Aha!
All right.
Sorry, Jane.
Now we get to the big one. Everyone's freaking out because it's Best Picture time.
I hope you don't read the card wrong.
I'm kind of worried I'm gonna. Who wants to go first? For Best Picture, we're doing a top 5.
All right, I can go first.
Okay.
All right, number 5, I have Coda. Number 4, I got King Richard. This is weird, but number 3, I have Dune. Number 2, I got Power of the Dog. And number 1, I got Drive My Car.
Why is that weird?
I don't know. I feel like I would have put Dune higher, but like, no, I just like the other 2 more.
I think it was a good year for movies. I think there's a lot of really strong movies.
Yeah. A lot of strong stuff. It was hard to pick.
Yeah. I just to see it at 3, like, it's like, no, that's where I want to put it, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I liked Belfast a lot, and Belfast is way down the bottom of my list. So,
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Drive My Car, we've talked about it so much. It's clear we all just fucking love that movie. It was so good.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like Don't Look Up. The other 9 actual nominees are at very worst perfectly fine and like pleasant movies,
Yeah.
you know? And like, what are you going to say? Like, you're not happy at the end of Coda? Of course you are. Whatever. You can, jump online and complain that it's a Disney Channel original movie as much as you want, but it's...
I
not the
mean,
movie's
people
fault.
complain about that, but for me, that's a big selling point. Like, you took in a movie that, like, any other time
Makes me
would have
think
been
maybe
a
this is a
crap
smart
movie.
house.
But and like,
Maybe she's going to turn into a leprechaun and get real good basketball.
no, but like, it's a basic recycled plot, but they still made it incredibly interesting by adding a perspective I've never thought about before, and I feel like that takes a lot of skill. I don't know. I don't think it should take
The
away
acting was
from
also
the movie.
very good. I felt like that helped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
rise it up a bit.
Yeah.
I loved Coda.
There's a lot I like about Coda.
I would probably describe it as perfectly pleasant, but I did love it. And
That doesn't mean it's a bad movie, though.
And
not.
it's if it ends up winning Best Picture, as it kind of seems like it has the momentum to now, I feel like people are just going to be like dunking on it for until the end of time, and that's.
That
I
doesn't seem
don't think
fair.
it deserves to
no.
win Best Picture, but I wouldn't be upset if it did.
Yeah, I think it would just be like all of a
little
sudden it
bit of a
becomes like a
letdown.
toxic topic to bring up, and you're like, come on, it's fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be toxic about it. But
No, I don't think. I'm not saying you would be.
I know, I'm just-
yeah.
Well,
anytime you
now
bring
I
it up,
am.
Greg jumps through your window and starts punching the face every time you bring it up. Okay, I can go next on my best pictures. Ones that just miss the cut would be Summer of Soul. That's over in documentary. Hopefully has a better chance there than it does on my list because it's didn't quite make it. Matrix Resurrections, West Side Story, and Licorice Pizza all didn't quite make it, but they're all really good movies. In fifth, I have Dune. Fourth, I have Green Knight. Third, I have Drive My Car. In second, I have Power of the Dog. And first, I have The Worst Person in the World.
Mm.
That movie kicks ass.
All right.
I got to see this
I'll
thing
see
now.
it.
You've sold me on this one.
Yeah, that's just an amazing movie. There's a lot of good movies this year. I would say between Drive My Car, Worst Person in the World, and Power of the Dog, I have switched the order of all three into each of the three spots at the top of my list. Just like as we've been doing this podcast, I've done some switching. So I don't know. They're all really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with any of those taking home the Latie. Obviously, Worst Person in the World is not even nominated at the Oscars, so it doesn't have much of a chance there. But the other two would be. I'd be happy with those too. Yeah, I don't know.
So for me, number 5, I got Belfast. 4, I'm going Licorice Pizza. 3, Dune. 2, Power of the Dog. And number 1, I'm going Drive My Car. I think we kind of covered all these. I don't think I've said a ton about Belfast, but I really enjoyed Belfast. I think, like I said, I was very impressed that they were able to tell me such a good story so quickly. And the rest, I think I've kind of already touched on them all.
Yeah.
I just had a thought as we were doing like different movies and stuff. We should have each had to act out the clips for our nominees.
No.
We should have.
We should have. We all could have tried Judi Dench's accent for a while.
Don't look back.
Desert Power.
Look back. Desert Power. I am smiling about Desert Power.
This dog's got a lot of power.
Oh, yeah, Bronco Henry would have never done that.
There you
He could have. He one time I watched him jump over a 2-story house with his horse.
Yeah, that was just a normal Tuesday for Bronco Henry.
And the horse had broken legs.
The horse was on top of Bronco Henry. He was carrying it.
Yep.
And he jumped over a house. None of y'all sissies could ever do that.
Thighs for days, that Bronco Henry.
Oh, they were nice looking. I mean,
So
Ray, what's your top 5?
moving on. So number 5, I think, is going to be Encanto. Just because I think it did something really special. So I think it gets it. And everybody's still talking about Bruno. So
I won't. They say we don't, so I'm not going to.
Right.
I follow directions.
The Oscar ceremony will, though.
First rule of Bruno is you don't talk about Bruno.
That's right. King Richard is number 4. Coda is number 3. Power of the Dog is 2. And Drive My Car is 1.
Okay. Here is how it worked out. With all 10, it's going to be harder for me to keep track. So let's try it. Number last with a bullet, it's Don't Look Up, down there in 10th place. In 9th, is West Side Story. In 8th is King Richard.
Ooh.
In 7th is Nightmare Alley. In 6th, actually, I guess tied for 5th, is Belfast and Licorice Pizza. In 4th is Coda. Tied for 2nd is Dune and Drive My Car. And in 1st is Power of the Dog. However, if we went by average, Don't Look Up's in last, then West Side Story, then Nightmare Alley in, I guess that makes it 8th. In 7th is King Richard, then tied is Licorice Pizza in Belfast. In 4th, Coda, Dune in 3rd, Power of the Dog in 2nd, and Drive My Car in 1st. So if we're going by average, then Drive My Car jumps from 2nd to 1st. We're going by point total, Power of the Dog's in 1st.
So if those people had seen Drive My Car, they would have voted first.
Depends. I think I feel like I know which way the wind is blowing on this one, but still, let's ask. For us, we all had Drive My Car in the top few, and I think same with Power of the Dog, unless anyone had that like way down. It's
No.
I had it too.
I think all of those are. I don't know. I had Drive My Car 3rd, then TPOTD 2nd. You had it 2nd,
I had it 2nd.
and Drive My Car 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
same.
that's all.
Same.
Okay, so we're probably more leaning Drive My Car. I think a little
I
bit
think
That's what
so.
I think.
by percentage points, really.
Yeah. We'll give them the lady because I don't think they're getting the Oscar, unfortunately.
I don't know. I think they could.
Oh wait,
I
we
think
didn't
they
consider
could,
being the
but-
Ricardos. Should that be number 1?
It should not.
So before he mentioned that Coda's been crushing it, I would have. My bet would have been Drive My Car or Power of the Dog. Like, not my personal pick, but what I thought was going to win the Oscar.
Power of the Dog should be the front runner. It has 12 nominations. Coda has 3, but Coda's winning all the freaking time now.
I was
So-
just
I
thinking
will
with like
defend Coda.
the best actor and
I'm
best
just saying,
actress,
just on a
like
basic,
them
like,
ignoring them for that. I
you have
just
4 times as many.
and like haven't heard them win anything else. I feel like the Academy is just like not going to give them Best Picture, but
For Coda?
no for Drive My Car.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like where
Oh,
they didn't
yeah.
nominate any of the actors or actresses. Has it won any of the other awards you're talking
That
about?
happened on Parasite. though.
Parasite did.
Oh, okay.
Parasite got what, director and picture, right?
Yeah, and it was also, I think, in production also, and some of the technical stuff, it got nominations too, which,
I'd love to see it. Don't get me wrong. I don't have that much faith in the Academy.
Yeah, but
My only year
Parasite
watching
didn't get
it.
a single acting nomination.
and I think we talked about this before, but Parasite and Bong Joon-ho was more of a known quantity to the Academy at that point. He'd already made movies in America with, starring Captain America and shit. So Hamaguchi, not so much. So we'll see. I mean, I would absolutely love to see that too, as evidenced by our voting totals.
I'm thinking Power of the Dog, but I can't. I don't want to
I would be happy with
give
that.
out my strats either.
I'd be happy with that. But
I think I'm just gonna like on the day of voting, just guess
Yeah.
I already
or
told,
just like go gut.
Yeah.
I already told you guys my strategy. I'll probably put in all stuff that I don't want to win, and then I have some solace either direction.
Either way, you win.
It's a good strategy.
Unless the thing that I like second most wanted not to win wins. It's like, well, I'm just stupid all around. Wasn't even brave.
It's gonna be Joel.
I'm stupid and I'm a coward.
I'm a stupid coward.
It's gonna be Don't Look Up.
Green Book's gonna win again somehow.
No, these movies were so good this year.
So
Yeah.
good.
I noticed out of all of us, I don't think we gave any love at all to Nightmare Alley. That was a
No.
good movie.
It was
It
a
was
good
a-
I
movie.
liked Nightmare Alley a lot. I like how it looks.
And like even in
Cinematography.
the Discord, I feel like I was like the one being like, I love this movie, but like even when it came down to comparing it, I was like,
It doesn't.
it doesn't.
I felt that way about Licorice Pizza a lot, which when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is either my second or third favorite movie of the
I
year.
know. I was surprised that it was that low on your list.
Yeah, there's just really good shit. Other years it'd be higher. Last year it'd be higher.
I thought Nightmare Alley was gonna be my third or fourth, and then it was just
If we had done awards for technical categories, I would have had that one higher. I think because it did have it had a lot of cool
Yeah,
stuff.
and that's where we could have really recognized Dune in a lot of technical categories too, but we
I think Dune is good enough to
Just-
earn things in non-technical categories.
I agree.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
We didn't mention it in supporting, but I feel like Rebecca Ferguson could have been in there. Whatever.
I think actress Zendaya, whatever her name
Yeah.
is, she just, I'm glad they probably paid her a shitload of money for all the acting she did in
It
that
was
movie.
just- Such
See,
good
the
acting.
second one, it
Janice
was
is a
it was a
good
down
player.
payment on getting her involved, so she has to be in the sequel.
I assumed as much, but when we got to the end, and I was like, wow, she had 4 lines, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this character has to be important in the second half of the book.
It's crazy. Florence Pugh's going to be Irulan, so that's going to be crazy.
Can't wait for that love triangle.
Yeah, that's very funny. That's what that's what all the teens think. But hey, they end up together in Little Women also. So.
Teens should read a goddamn book.
Yeah. How do you do, fellow kids? Here's Frank Herbert's Dune. Like,
Oh,
Good luck.
You can't come back within 500 feet of this school.
yeah, I picked this guy up. He was handing out copies of Dune to unsuspecting teens. And
Can't have that.
Now they're all doing spice.
just trying to get all these kids hooked on spice and getting arrested by a dare officer. Except it's SARE for spice. The D in dare stands for drugs. Yeah.
It stands for do.
Drugs.
Dare really failed us if we don't even know what the acronym
Wait, what
is.
the hell does it mean? Drugs.
Awareness?
Drugs awareness.
Drugs, alcohol, resistance.
All right, what does DARE stand for? Because we got to make this joke land before we close out the podcast. All right, write in and say what you think DARE stands for.
What the fuck does dare?
Drug Abuse Resistance Education.
Yeah, okay, so I was right.
That's close.
The SARE officer pulls you over. It was a good joke.
It was, but like everyone just gave you a blank look because we realized we don't know what the fuck dare even standing for.
You did a good job.
Dare to say no to spice.
Fantastic.
Good movies this year.
Oh man.
Yeah, we'll bring it in clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was an incredible year in movies.
This is Robbie's first year, so he thinks this is how every year is.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real disappointed.
ups and
next year,
downs.
I feel like.
A million things happen between now and a year from now. And you asked me this time a year ago, I don't know who Ryosuke Hamaguchi is, for instance. I don't think Benedict Cumberbatch would make a good cowboy a year ago. You know,
Yeah.
so there's no telling what's going to happen.
I feel like there's going to be good shit, especially if we recognize more like good international films. That's going to give us some good shit. And
Avatar
then
2 is supposed to come out this year.
And I feel like
I thought you meant
fucking
the last Airbender at first.
the streaming services are just like going hard, putting out Oscar like
Yeah.
quality movies.
This year, the big storyline is Netflix probably finally going to break through. Until like 2 weeks ago, it seemed like a pretty good bet that Power of the Dog was going to take Best Picture. Now it seems like its main competition and probably even it's trailing Coda.
Yeah.
So we might be in a situation where Apple Plus takes home a Best Picture before Netflix does,
Ugh,
which you just know is going to grind Netflix's gears.
Yeah,
man.
that can't be good.
kind of grinds my gears, and I don't got any
They'll
skin
put
in this
out
game.
Nothing against
3
Apple Plus. I'm
Best
just saying, like,
Picture nominees.
the amount of money that Netflix has spent trying to win a Best Picture
A lot.
Yeah,
is insane.
They've put out some good stuff.
yeah.
They have. Any final thoughts on this year in movies and any final thoughts heading into the Oscars 6 days from when we're recording this, a few days from when it's released?
I have no idea what's going to happen. I hope
don't
I can
either.
squeeze a few more in.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of year where like there's movies I want to like watch still, even after like watching 10 Best Pictures.
I got to say, we've all been going really hard at it this year.
Yeah.
So good for us.
Yeah. 10
Yeah.
Best Pictures is a little too much. I
It's
think.
so many.
It's too
with
many.
no- with-
Once there's no need for this.
I think we said of the 10 lead actor/actors performances, only 2 are in the 10 Best Pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's 18
Yeah, if you want to catch them.
if you want to catch all like the major awards.
Yep. And if that's like when you're saying
That's a lot.
yeah. Yeah, and if you count in like all the major categories, you're looking at like over 20 movies. That's too many movies
That's insane.
in like 5 weeks.
But I am glad I watched all 10, except for Don't Look Up. I think they were all worth my time.
That's
Subscribe.
There's gonna I'm holding because this is where like the trumpet and all the brass instruments will be playing and our fanfare as the show closes on.
We should be played out.
Yeah, we should be played out as the Drive My Car crew is up on stage celebrating and accepting their Best Picture lady.
Do your typical ending, but as you say it, just sort of say it faster and faster, and you have to put the violin music like playing you off.
Yeah, so you can
Copyrighted. You can't put that in.
you can find us on Instagram. It's late to the movies _pod. That's the number 2. not too spelled out. And then Gmail, same deal, late to the movies at gmail.com. You can also go to our TeePublic, buy 8 to 10 shirts. One of them has Greg's face on it. It's great. We all love it. Oh shit, they're playing me off. Oh, fuck. Thank you for listening. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and you can review on Spotify now. And it's getting a lot louder. Shit. That's it for me. Here's the signal. You can go to bed now, kids, and have a good night. And thank you to the Academy and to the ladies and to the viewers out there and the listeners. And thank you guys, Greg, Ray, and Robbie.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Kickflip.